Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Experience Insiders. I'm Alicia Esposito, and frankly, we have a fantastic episode lined up for you today featuring Ellie Off, VP of Well People. Ellie, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, no, Alicia, thank you so much for having me.
So as I said, you are currently VP of Well People, which actually joined the Elf Beauty family early in 2020. So 2020 was a year, to put it lightly, for the retail industry as a whole. But I'm sure it was a very interesting year as well for Well People as it was integrating into the Elf Beauty business, going through its own evolution, so to speak. But as someone who's been a part of the Elf Beauty business for quite some time, about 7 years, if I'm getting that right, I would love to hear how Well People has come into the fold of the overall business and how the brand even has evolved over this time.
Yeah, of course. So first, just let me take a step back and talk a little bit about Elf Beauty. So last year, when Elf acquired Well People, we were so excited to welcome this new brand into the Elf family. And I think that's because Well People is a pioneer in the clean beauty space. And what we really loved about the Well People brand is how much its mission aligned with Elf's purpose, which is to stand for every eye, lip, face, and paw, and to make beauty accessible to consumers. And that's what we wanted to do and bring to the forefront with Well People is continue Well People's vision to make clean beauty accessible to all, because we believe all people can be well people. And so this has been really our focus this year in 2020 and 2021 is we dug into the Well People treasure chest so that we could shine a light on the superpowers of this brand. And we did this in a couple of ways. First, by spending time with the founders. So Well People was founded by a makeup artist, a dermatologist, and a wellness enthusiast. And we really wanted to understand the history and the core essence of the brand. And then second, and importantly, is understanding the consumer insights and understand how we can really differentiate Well People in the clean beauty market. So when we did this, we found 3 superpowers that make this brand so special. First, the brand has super clean formulas that are high performance and full of plant-powered ingredients. And so what we've been doing is really leaning into these superpowers this year.
Excellent. No, that's fascinating. And I know in our earlier discussions, you noted that in 2020, Well People started what you call a brand recharge. And I bring this up because I feel like a lot of brands and retailers went through the same process in a way. They kind of took a step back and, took a look at their audience. Like you said, and I love that you brought up, uncovering the superpowers of the brand and how to make those shine through. So why was this needed and what has this process entailed and how did it expand across, all those different channels that are being used?
Yeah, so the brand recharge is really focused on simplifying those messages to bring to the forefront those superpowers. Because as you know, there's so many different things about a brand you can talk about, and you really need to focus on those key elements of the brand that make it so special. So when we looked back at the products that we have, the ingredients, we recognized there was a huge opportunity to bring these to the forefront in beautiful ways. Our ingredients are beautiful when they're photographed, and the products that we have are also beautiful when they showcase how high performance they are and how they glide onto the skin, the lips, etc. And so we work to really bring this mission to life or bring this to life across the brand, across all channels. And so I think just essentially taking these elements and putting them out across all channels is really where we've been focusing with this recharge.
Oh, that's excellent. And I feel like Well People, and I say this not as someone who just reports on the industry, but as a consumer and user of the products as well, that I feel like the Well People brand is really nicely positioned at this intersection of, like you said, this very much blossoming sustainable beauty space. Sustainability has become a more hot button topic, I think, for all retailers, figuring out what it means to them and what it means to their consumers. But you also, being a part of the Elf Beauty business, you have this great opportunity to reach and engage younger consumers, especially Gen Z, which again, very hot button topic for the retail community. So how has this positioning or this intersection served the brand, especially over 2020, which was a very volatile year, seeing the shift to online, changing behaviors, and all those other fun things that retail leaders have had to navigate.
Yeah. Yeah. So for what people, I think there's a few things here. First, just, during COVID, we know that health and wellness have been an increasingly important to consumers, and they're focused on ingredients that are in their products and are going on their skin. And so, as a super clean brand with over 35 EWG verifications, and the EWG is a third party nonprofit that actually provides transparency and giving ratings to different products and their ingredient statements. Our products are well positioned given what consumers are looking for to meet their need sort of during this time in which their needs have evolved. And second, it really goes back to our brand vision, because all people can be well people. And I believe now it's as important as ever. So to be increasingly inclusive, we're expanding our shade assortment across our range of products to further support this mission, which I know is just extremely important, extremely important in the market. And then to touch on, on the sustainability front, we also recognize this is important, and we are a very sustainably minded brand and has always been a core part of our DNA. And this is a key piece of what we're working on, is our sustainability journey and how we look at all aspects of our brand and try to continually improve to make ourselves more sustainable.
I love that. And I like that you make the distinction that sustainability is very much a journey. It's not something that you reach, you tick the box and you say, okay, on to the next thing. It really does need to be embedded into the business. But I do want to go back to your point around customer engagement and customer experience, of course, with that being the focus of this series. Because when I think e.l.f. Beauty, I think all of the innovative work that's being done from a marketing and customer engagement standpoint, largely social media and of course TikTok and all of these new and emerging networks. What is Well People prioritizing from a marketing and social media standpoint, and how does this this benefit of having these really beautiful beautiful products that apply really nicely impact even the content that you're creating?
Yeah. So we're doing this in two ways, and we're trying to focus on two areas. So I would say first is education, and the second is inspiration. And, e.l.f. Beauty is known as an OG digital disruptor, and we're continuing to bring this to life with the Well People brand. So we just launched our TikTok channel, and we're coming off a very inspiring social first campaign called See Well, Be Well. And so what this campaign is this campaign leveraged creators to create beautiful, engaging video content focused on our products and the ingredients that are the key plant-powered ingredients that are in them. So one example is a baker who used our ingredients to create a beautiful raspberry tart. And her video not only showcased this beautiful raspberry tart, but showcased the ingredients, the raspberry, of our nudist lip butter, and also showed the performance of our products. And this is just one example of how we're both educating and inspiring with our content in a social first landscape.
That's such a great example. And I think it really emphasizes and illustrates just how important content is. I think you can have probably the best products in the world, but if you don't have great content rather, to support it and get the word out, it's kind of in a way a dead end, especially if you're using social media. So I would love to dig a little bit deeper into Well People's approach to content and how you kind of combine the branded content with user-generated content, influencer content. Like that last campaign was a great example, but I mean, how do you go about balancing all three of those elements?
So again, I think it goes back to those objectives of education and inspiration, and looking at all of these different content elements and how you can best deliver on that education and inspiration that you're looking for around your products. So, I think the See Well, Be Well campaign is a wonderful example of showcasing our ingredients and bringing it to life in new ways. And then also that campaign was tied to like makeup artists doing looks that also complemented with those products. So again, providing that inspiration to how the products can be used. So that's just one example, but we look at content that also just provides different information on our products, on the ingredients that are in them, as well as different inspiration on different looks that you can achieve using our mascaras, our lip, or all different products together. And so I think again, it's going back and making sure that everything you're doing is tied back to those objectives, because those objectives are importantly based on what consumers are looking for. And you need to provide what consumers are looking for in the channel and what they need and what they're looking for from your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one thing that goes into content strategy is figuring out how to not just create content that is consumable and enjoyable through that specific channel, whether it be Instagram or TikTok, but also finding the right ways to adapt it, reuse it, and repurpose it across all of those different channels. That's how you create that consistency. That's how you honestly get the most value out of your content investment. So can we dig into like how that process looks, or can you share a recent example of how you've been able to reuse it and get the most mileage out of all this great content that you're creating?
Yeah, so I think you're totally right, especially when you're a small brand. You need to be really efficient with your resources. And we've been able to do this really well. And a lot of it comes with planning up front and looking at all your different channels and looking at, again, what are you trying to achieve, your education, your inspiration, and what assets you need, and how can you make sure that you're being thoughtful as you go and create these assets for your campaign. I think the See Well, Be Well campaign is a great example here because not only are these assets found on Instagram and Reels, but we also found we were able to use them in our own channels. So, on our site and email. And then you actually, if you do go to our TikTok, which I highly encourage everyone to check out, you will see these videos, some of these videos now being repurposed there. So I think that's a great example of us really utilizing the content that we have across multiple channels.
Fantastic. So you launched your TikTok channel. You have this fantastic campaign example to possibly replicate, improve upon moving forward. So what is Well People prioritizing over the coming year? I know we're coming up on Earth Day period, which I'm sure is a big holiday for you, but what else is to come from an experience standpoint?
Yeah, so first, we're so excited about Earth Day this month. It's such a great month for us. And because we can really showcase our plant-powered ingredients and our focus on being sustainably minded. And so, we encourage everyone, in addition to our TikTok, to check out all of our social channels to really see some of this content over the coming month. And I'm very excited to say, we recently teamed up with the National Forest Federation, and we're going to be planting 10,000 trees with them over the year. And this is being kicked off on Earth Day this year. So this is just another example of us like looking to our content and looking to how can we really lean into those messages and those key pillars of our brand. And you're going to continue to see that. I think this is just one example, but continue to see things like that from us going forward.
I love that. Can't wait to see what else is coming down the pipeline for Well People. And, I do have to say, I really appreciate that, the brand has been able to balance the creative side of brand, the aesthetic, the content, but then also still stay true to that mission. I always feel like when we talk about sustainability or, ethical business, it's like you either have to go one way or the other. And it seems like you guys have really struck that balance really nicely. So kudos to you and the rest of the Well People team. And it's really exciting to see all of the great campaigns and initiatives to come from the brand.
Thank you.
So to close out, I know we covered a lot. We had a very rapid fire conversation and, have shared some really great examples today to hopefully get our viewers' wheels spinning, their creativity running. But I always like to close out these conversations by talking about the things that excite business leaders today, because I feel like there's so much content out there, so many headlines, research reports around what the future of retail will look like, can kind of get a bit overwhelming and dizzying, I feel like. So what's really exciting you right now as VP of Well People, and what will you be focusing on, I guess, strategically over the next year? Are there any key trends that you're focusing on?
Yeah, I have a couple things. I think first and foremost, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it's this renewed focus on wellness and ingredients, and I think how that translates to clean beauty as a whole. And just knowing that consumers are increasingly looking for clean beauty. And that very much excites me, given that our brand is a pioneer in the clean beauty space. And so we're super clean, high performance, plant powered, and I'm excited for what that means for the future for both our brand and all of those brands in the clean beauty space. And then second is, it goes back to inclusivity in our mission. So because all people can be well people, and I love that and I internalize it every day. And I'm very excited to work on a brand that we're working so hard to make clean beauty accessible to all, and all of the work that we're doing on our shade ranges and other things to really make sure that this brand is accessible to all.
Fantastic. Well, Ellie, thank you again so much for taking the time out to chat with me today to talk shop, talk about some of the great campaigns and activations that Well People has going on. It was a great conversation, so thank you.
No, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
And to all of you, if you have any follow-up questions for Ellie, the Well People team, of course, we are live streaming this, so we'd love to hear from you in the comments, or feel free to reach out to me directly. But for now, that's it for this installment of Experience Insiders. Definitely be on the lookout for new conversations with the folks who are shaping the next generation of customer experience. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.